Alright, so what we're going to do now is I am going to do the same character off the cuff so that no one accuses me of plagiarism. How's that sound? So I've got the original paper drawing here in front of me, and I can use the 3D character model that is in ClipPaint Studio to help me with the referencing. But I'm just going to freeball it, and to freeball it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the magic marker, which in this case is called just the G Pen, on ClipPaint Studio version, where it's called the magic marker on Manga. And let's just create some anatomy work, or Red Arsenal, in ClipPaint Studio. As you can see, this is my own freehand, so I'm not tracing. So I'm not, a plagiarist. And I'm just going to do this thing freehand and then ink that one instead of inking that pencil drawing, which I might do a video of me inking that pencil drawing at some stage and turning them down a little bit more back in Manga Studio. But for now, let's just do this, see what it looks like. It'll be more fun for me, actually. It'll be less boring. This is actually a lot more fun doing it off the cuff. You know what I mean? So there we go. I've got a rough outline of what I want for the anatomy pose, which that 3D software could have done for me. Let's create a new layer on top of that. But first, let's turn down the, there we go. The opacity of that one. Let's create another raster layer. Put it on top. Grab the same magic marker, if you will, but I won't. I'll go to pencils now, because I know everyone knows I'm favouring the magic marker, which is true. But let's just go with a mechanical pencil, though. That's probably best. I know if you're roughing it, you probably should just use a regular pencil, but I will use a mechanical pencil. And let's do a profile and what I think Red Arsenal should look like, because I've never done a profile of him before. And people saying, yeah, I copied Iron Man, but especially the new Iron Man suit that came out in the movies, which came out in 2008. Whereas, I created this character in 1997. So you can say, oh yeah, sure, he copied Iron Man, but legally I've got this, date on this piece of paper. Very small. It says 12th of October 1997. So Disney and Marvel can sue the pants off me if they want to, but I will countersue and take them to the cleaners. You like my banter? If you do, please let me know in the comments. So there we go. I'm doing my best to emulate what he looks like from that previous drawing that you saw. Because we are entering a new Cold War. So, to have a character like Red Arsenal in a comic book franchise would make a lot of sense. So he's got an air intake down here, but then he's got two more air intakes at the back. It's looking like the Rocketeer. Oh, don't say that. I might get sued by Disney. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. What I can do now is zoom out and start working on the rest of his body. I'm not going to go into too much detail at this stage, not until we start doing these things professionally. I have a son who's actually a better artist than I am. So I might go into business with him. So, you know what? I might just go down to that previous layer if I can. If it'll let me. It can't, so I can lock it, but it won't let me lock it. Alright, anyway. So I'm going to create some armor for the chest plate. And we're going to make it huge. Like that. And then let's make some space for that bandolier. So we're still roughing it here, people. And I hope you appreciate that it is just a rough at this stage. So let's give him big armor for the deltoid. Another big shoulder pad for the other deltoid. We can stretch and slide these and make them look bigger at a later stage. So his biceps are obviously exposed, and so is his tricep, because, you know, clearly he needs some sort of maneuverability if he is going to be flying around doing whatever he does. So his rib cage is pretty much, you know, covered by this armor. We'll thicken those out later. But his pectorials, sorry, not pectorials, that's his chest. His abdominal area, his six-pack will not be. Because, you know, still, you know, you got to twist your... You have to twist everything if you want to be able to fight and whatnot, so... Now, can you appreciate that I'm not, you know... forging this or stealing someone else's drawing? This is actually my own handiwork with a crippled hand. Not bad for a crippled hand, hey. Anyway, so he's got that flamethrower in that hand. We don't have to go too much detail. I can always finish this off professionally later on if I ever need it for a comic book or what have you. But I'm quite happy with how it's looking so far. That is the mechanical pencil, and yes, yet it's coming out as being quite rough and not really fine, is it? Oh well, I'll keep it. But here's the thing. Scalability, I think his head is too big for his body, so what we'll do is we'll either increase the size of the head or shrink the size of the head or increase the size of the body to sort of accommodate. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I mean, I can monetize this, but I do really need help from, you know, friends or family, my kids, to help me with the inking or that sort of stuff. So we can make this part of his anatomy from the original drawing as a more of a Kevlar flexible sort of armor underneath the top armor, which is obviously more rigid, and then work from there. But as I said, the body's probably going to be increased in size. I may do that just now before we move forward, because obviously what I'm noticing is... Actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's actually finish the anatomy, because where you've got that reference from underneath it. And the forearm obviously has got some sort of armor on this hand. The other forearm is sort of protected by the actual mechanical aspect of that flamethrower. So that is a form of armor for that particular hand, but this hand, not so much. I'm going to bring that bandolier up, as with the original drawing. So it's a different style to what I drew back in the day. But we will go back to the original drawing and ink it just for fun, just for nostalgia's sake. Nostalgia's sake, I'm so sentimental. See, so I'm bringing the quad, I'm bringing that other muscle, I'm bringing the inner thigh quad. See how my skeleton wasn't such a good reference point? I sort of had it off by a bit. Anyway, and that's got armor too, so we can make that chunky as well and put some patterns on it. That's probably how the air intake is supposed to look from the original reference drawing. And you know what? I'm going to be lazy again. Why am I so lazy? So when you copy this, we will put it into a different layer, but you can always flatten it and make it oh, it's bit me in the butt now. Not bad though, is it? So now what we can do, even though that's on a separate layer, which is going to cause more problems for us, I wonder if we can just collapse it all. So it might be easier just to shrink the head. Let's go back to original layer, select the head, and bring it down in size. So at this point it's just referencing, but I'm going to hide the I'm pretty happy with that. It's not great, but that's just a rough that we can create a new layer on top of. Do you know what I mean? So let's just save that. I've got to get into a habit of drawing these guys from different angles. Anyway, so that's a good starting point. I will make him more chunky like the original one when I do another layer on top of that. But we'll do that in another video.